Good evening, everybody. Well, it's not really evening. It is really late right now, but I wanted to get up and do a thought. I figured that I needed to get up and do one because I promised you all that I would have thoughts on the regular, and I wanted to stay true to that promise. I wanted to make sure that I continue to bring you the thoughts that I promised you that I would. So I want to make sure that I do that. I want to start off by saying that I'm having a great time doing these thoughts. I've learned some new things with the YouTube channel and my emails, and people are, questioning, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and how long I've been doing it, and things like that. And I am truly, truly blessed by it. And I would just want to say thank you to everyone that has helped me, that has just been standing by me and making sure that I keep on pushing. And to some people it may not be a grand thing, but to me it means a lot. And I appreciate that. So I figured what I would do is come to you with the beginning. And when I say the beginning, what I mean by that is I started doing a thought back in '06. And in the beginning, it was just some inspirational thoughts that I sent out, which that's the premise of the thought today. But it was just labeled inspiration back then. And I sent it out and people would say, oh, I like this, send it out and add this to me. So I had about 8 people in the beginning on my email list. And I just sent out this inspirational thought, on the daily, and it kind of caught on a little bit, and people would say, oh, well, I'm glad, that you're sending this out, so why don't you send it out to me, send it out to my friend here, yada, yada, yada. So I started like that, and from all the conversations that I had with people, and the conversations where they would ask me what my thoughts were on it, how did I feel about it, then I started taking those thoughts and just kind of elaborating on them and going there. Now, the thought was never geared toward any one person, but like a collective of thoughts and ideas that I've had or may have brought to me. And I may have said, okay, you know what, well, that's a thought, let me elaborate on it. Let me talk on it. Let me see if anybody else out there is doing the same thing or feeling the same way. And that's how it started. The beginning was not something that I really thought was going to take me this far. And it's still not a mega thing right now, but it's big for me. And so in the beginning, nobody really responded to the thought. Nobody said anything to me. Nobody said anything. And I really wasn't pushing or asking anybody, what do you think? What's going on? I was just doing it because that's what I like to do. So it wasn't until I stopped doing the thought that people came out of the woodwork and said, hey, what's going on? I haven't got your thought. What's happening? Da, 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 da. And I was telling them that I didn't know that anybody liked it. I didn't know that anybody was feeling it or anything like that. It just seems like everybody was like that. So what I did was I said, okay, so let me change it up a bit. Let me stop being so PC. So I started changing it up probably around '07, I believe. I started changing it up and it took off like wildfire, which was good for me. The only difference was at this point here, I started to receive back responses and criticism and stuff like that, and which I'm fine with. I have no problem with. But then it started to become a little bit more than what I thought it was going to be. And so I kind of backed off a little bit because behind the scenes, people were coming to me from a negative standpoint when all I'm doing is trying to put out some inspiration, trying to raise spirits, And some people took it the wrong way. If I gave them some advice or if I said something in my thought or if I just told them what I experienced, some people took it as if it was wrong. I hate emails and people are leaving notes and saying, hey, this doesn't make any sense, And then some people actually emailed me and said that I didn't have to tell their business. Like if I wanted to talk to them, that I should have come to them and talked to them. And it was at that point I had to pray on it. I had to pray on it. And so what I did was I let my spirit guide me. That's what I did. And I started doing the thought more often. I started gearing the thought toward what I thought the thought should be. And that's when the thought started to unfold and sprout out and become something other than what I thought it would be. Now, some people think numbers mean the world. But in reality, it wasn't about quantity that I was looking at. It was about quality. Now, would I like 1 million people plus, or 250,000 viewers, or 250,000 followers? Yes, I would love it. I would love it. But to me, the thought was something that I did from my heart and from my spirit, and it didn't matter how many people, came along for the ride. It mattered if I touched someone's heart or their spirit. And that's what the thought was. And the thought took off like that. People were telling me all the time, I want to thank you, that thought was spot on. Not every thought was spot on, but the majority, you know how it goes. Some days you're on, some days you're off, some nights you're not, that type of thing. But I was really thankful that people decided to come to me and tell me what was really going on. So I was really pleased with that. So the thought took off, and then so I started to learn how to handle my readers of the thought. I had to learn how to handle them, and it was a hard thing because my feelings were on my sleeve, and sometimes people don't get it. Sometimes people think just because you do the thought or you do these things that you're fine with it. And a lot of stuff hurts, lots of stuff hurts. But I didn't come tonight to say all of that. What I came to say was, in the beginning, the thought was something that I just figured would kind of tell it in my way, And if you know me, people always say I have a particular way of telling stories. So going back to the beginning, it's the same as it is now. It's the same. I want to bring you in. I want to feel your spirit. I want you to know where it's coming from. And most people say, oh, well, you know what, Titan, you are always so, nice and so considerate and stuff. Now, I'm human, and I have issues just like the next man. But what I like to do is give me something that I can forget my problems and my issues and my concerns just for a moment. And then think about something else. Maybe laugh a little. Maybe pray. Maybe sing. Maybe dance, or whatever it may be. And that's what I like about my thought. I figured what I could do is bring it to you like that. And so hopefully it's been doing that for you. So I want to give you just a little background on what the thought was, how it came to be. And I've been doing this for some years. It's been a long time. And I just finally got to the point to where I wanted it to get out into the mainstream and get everybody on board with me. And I'm just so thankful that you are. I appreciate you. This is the beginning. Again, the beginning. I gave you the beginning of the thought. I'm starting a new chapter in the thought, so it's the beginning all over again. And I just want to say I thank you so much. I appreciate you. I plan on making the thought something that's continuous, something that's always there, and then I can only grow bigger and I can only thrive. Okay, that's what I can do for you. I want to say peace and blessings. I love you for being you. I want to thank you for being a blessing unto me, and I hope and I pray that I continue to always be a blessing unto you. Until next time.